Montalvo Broadcasting Network. Support MBN, Montalvo Broadcasting Network, and shop with us over at Montalvo Store. Go to ebay.com and search in the advanced search. Type in Montalvo Store. Now support Montalvo Broadcasting Network. We have a wide array of books on conspiracy, apparel, and much more. Support your favorite radio station, Montalvo Broadcasting Network, by visiting Montalvo Store on ebay.com.
Tribal, primitive, rustic, Burning Man, punk rock, conceptual subculture, for the edgiest, most cutting-edge designs of jewelry today. Go to etsy.com/shop/conceptual subculture, or one word, either by going to Google or search Etsy, ETSY.com, and type in one word, conceptual subculture. You will find the hottest designs using natural stones with wire wrap rings, rough, raw, genuine, semi-precious gemstone jewelry, solid sterling silver, copper, leather, organite, bracelets, pendants, chokers, men's copper cups with sterling accents, eco-friendly, repurposed, original, one-of-a-kind design earrings. Support MBN by going to Conceptual Subculture on Etsy. Go to Antique Obsessions for the hottest in jewelry, antiques, repurposed, solid sterling silver, one-of-a-kind, handmade by Bruce and Jaja. Go to our Facebook, which is Antique Obsessions, or you can go to Etsy.com and go to Antique Obsessions, one word, or type it into your Google and find us there. Thanks.
If you're looking for the coolest apparel, jewelry, bracelets, earrings, the stylish and hippest clothing around, go to Poshmark.com. Poshmark.com at Anti-Culture. At Anti-Culture. The coolest, hippest apparel on the internet. Poshmark.com at Anti-Culture. Bruce Montalvo.
Continues to spread conspiracy theories.
Penchant for promoting bogus conspiracies as though they were fact.
About his conspiracy theory.
This is CNN, a network of China Broadcasting System.
Bruce Montalvo is the only radio talk show host that's not controlled. You're listening to the Bruce Montalvo Show.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a very special broadcast of the Bruce Montalvo Show. It is August 12th, 2019, and on today's show, like I said, I have a very special guest. He is a UFO investigator. He investigates UFO cold cases. He's networked with the FBI, NASA, Congress, and other groups and people with these cases that they want to bring about disclosure. He believes that aliens are real, UFOs are real, and there's a government cover-up engaged involving the military-industrial complex. So he's going to join us. He applied to be a CIA agent when he was in high school, but later became through the military, involved now with UFOs. His name is Kenneth Dudley, UFO investigator. He joins me on the line. Hello, Kenneth. How are you?
I'm doing fine, Bruce. How you doing tonight?
It's good to have you on. I'm great. So, okay, let's get to it. You investigate UFO cold cases. Is that like Like they killed a little green man or something? What's going on with that?
No, basically what I do is I approach the whole investigation of UFOs in a little bit different way than what most people would do, like MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network, or some of these other groups. I network directly with the people that I think are the most involved in it, which would be government people. I started out, with some MUFON people and National UFO Reporting Center and people like that, but I didn't get a very good response from those people. So I went and took my case to the FBI here in Houston, and also took my case to NASA Counterintelligence, which is based here out of Johnson Space Center. Of course, I had to do a little investigation to find the NASA Counterintelligence people because they're just not, they don't advertise.
Right.
But anyway, and I filed a report about my sighting with the FBI, with NASA, because I wasn't satisfied with how MUFON and the National UFO Reporting Center were handling the UFO reporting cases that were coming in. I felt mine was a very important case, so I took it as high as I could take it.
Okay, I see here that you said you've experienced an invasion of the Utah Launch Complex in October of 1973.
Yeah, as my investigation unfolded down through the years, I've been doing it for about 11 straight years now. In the beginning, I didn't know a whole lot, but I decided to go into the military intelligence area of the UFO situation because my sighting was at a missile base. And so because my sighting was at a missile base, I was interested in the interaction between UFOs and these bases. And as time went by, I met people like Robert Salas, who was at Malmstrom Air Force Base in '67 when they had UFOs come over their missile silos and shut down their nuclear missiles. And I met people like him and a lot of other people that were in the military at different military bases. And so I worked mainly with the military people, intelligence people, and NASA people, police officers and stuff like that.
They seem to have gone from covert to overt now with the whole UFO agenda. They call them unidentified aerial phenomenon. Now they got different terms for it. But I want to ask you, thousands and thousands of UFOs have been seen this year alone, and sometimes they correlate with destruction or some type of natural disaster. Just the other day we had a nuclear explosion or some type of meltdown in Russia. Of course, they've been experiencing a high amount of UFOs throughout their entire existence. They're always dealing with shooting them down one way or another. Do you believe that UFOs, their presence can bring about doom?
I think that they're aware of what humans are up to, and that they have been interacting with humans since probably the beginning of time, as far as we know it. The nuclear issue is one where the best way I can describe it is people ask me, they don't understand why at times of war or possible nuclear conflict, why these UFOs are showing up, like in '67 and '73 and 1980 and all these different times during World War II after Hiroshima, Nagasaki, is because basically, I know this is going to be hard to grasp. We live in an alien world. We live not only in a human world, but an alien world. And it seemed like humans, since the beginning of time, whether it's the Pope or whoever they're in charge, has tried to hide this from the public down through the, hundreds and hundreds of years, that there are other beings on this planet, have been other beings on this planet, and that humans have been interacting with these beings. So, it's a cover-up not only by the United States government, but by the church and just about everybody.
They can't really exist. I hear you, but they can't really exist as the same in the same astral plane as us. They need to, I believe that either they're interdimensional or some type of parasitical
They could be interdimensional. You're right. And let's say if they're interdimensional and World War III is about ready to break out, and they sense that, they have the ability to sense that humans are about ready to come to conflict. Yeah. And then all of a sudden they all start showing up at our military bases, our nuke bases,
Yeah.
And they have the ability to actually activate our nuclear missiles or turn off our nuclear missiles. They can pretty much do whatever they want. The reason why back to what I was trying to get to was, if we live in an alien world and the aliens really felt that humans were about ready to destroy Earth, our home and their home, then they might do something to try to stop that from happening. In fact, they've done that many times. It's reported time after time after time that there's been this interaction between our military and these UFOs, and it always seems to be right around wartime or a possible nuclear.
You think that's
time.
You think that's a coincidence? I mean, the UFOs are mainly spotted over military bases. Some might think that the aliens are us, and we're the ones flying the damn things. What do you think?
No, I think we've probably got alien technology. I'm pretty sure that that's happened, because somehow down through time they figured out how to bring some of these ships down, and they've recovered them and they've reversed the technology.
Oh, right.
I believe that that one place in Columbus, Ohio, the Battelle Institute, BATTELLE, they're a big government contractor with labs and materials, so they would send any downed alien ship parts there to be try to reverse the technology on them. Right there in Columbus, Ohio.
I hear you. So you're saying pretty much us humans, if they sense that we're the destroyer of this world, then they're going to intervene. They're going to get in the way somehow.
I really do believe they will, because they've done it. It's recorded. It's happened many times already. And but they don't seem to be overly aggressive. Not like in the War of the Worlds or any kind of alien movie that you'd see on TV. They don't seem to be overly aggressive, except when possibly threatened. But that would be what any animal would do. That would be what we would do if we were threatened.
Right.
So, and if they've been around for as long as I think they've been around, and everything, and we've been able to coexist, then there's a good possibility in the future we could coexist. But I think humans may be the biggest problem of all, because humans seem to like to make war just about more than anything else, and with nukes, and we become the destroyer of worlds now with these nukes.
I hear you. No, so, they're intimidated probably. They're probably intimidated of us. We got big atom bombs, and maybe they don't want none. That's why they stay away or whatnot. But
if this is an interdimensional thing, we blow up Earth, we could blow up another world and not even know it.
I tell you, humans aren't the only ones that like war. I'm at war with the ants or the insectoids in my backyard, man.
The aliens probably think humans are like ants. They just swarm over everything and destroy everything in their path.
Oh my! I've been at war with these ants since the morning. Let me tell you, I went out and I'm going to be the destroyer of their world if they keep trying to get into mine. But let's talk about your UFO sighting back in '73. What exactly did you see?
I saw a classic, what you had called classic flying saucer, but it was up close and it was real big. It wasn't a small saucer, so it might have been more like the mothership with smaller saucers might have come out of.
I see.
And it was actually blocking the interstate highway, Interstate 70 in Utah, about 3 o'clock in the morning, and me and my girlfriend had to stop her car right in the middle of the highway, because it was scary.
Oh man!
It was very scary. It was enlightening, but it was like scary enlightening.
I hear you. I think I had an encounter when I was throwing out my trash in the backyard, there was just some big light that poofed up, and I felt pretty scared. I mean, there was no helicopters, there was no planes. I know the lights of my neighbors, and this light was just like a little Christmas light that turned on right above my house, and there shouldn't be any Christmas lights above my house, man. I don't see Santa Claus flying around.
Well, you know, the government just recently started, coming public and saying there was a couple of interviews that were reported from a congressman leaving the UFO briefing that they just had, and I think it was I don't know if it was the Senate or the House. I think it was the House. They had some sort of a briefing in a committee by the Army, the Navy, and Air Force about this UFO situation. Yeah. And they interviewed one of the Republican congressmen that came out of it. And he seemed to think that they're taking it very seriously now, that in the past they haven't, but the military is very concerned about it now. But because it's national security, he can't say very much about it, and all he can basically say is that they're aware of the situation, they're concerned about the situation.
Oh, well, they're declassifying it.
And all that.
They're pretty much declassifying it, Kenneth. I mean, you see the Pentagon coming out with the videos, and then a budget that they need, or they've had to study this type of phenomenon. I mean, they've been lying to us for quite some time about their interest.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about. See, what they're doing now is they're backtracking, trying to undo the conspiracy. Because for 70 years it's been a conspiracy that there's been a cover-up of alien life and UFOs by the government. So now all of a sudden they're real, so it's not a conspiracy anymore.
Oh no, they've been around. They've been around since. Charles Fort was writing about UFOs in 1919, and of course the Germans, the Nazis they had stamps for their mail that had UFO saucers on them.
Yeah. They were just trying to develop alien technology way back in the 30s and all the way back in there. Yeah. So anyway, but what I'm really investigating is I'm trying to find out exactly what has happened here. We've had some sort of ongoing conflict with certain alien beings for about 70 years now, and they've actually, and what I mean invaded is they've broken our airspace. Our top secret military airspace, and if you or me or anybody else broke that airspace, we'd be apprehended or shot down or whatever.
Obliterated.
So I'm trying to find out exactly where we stand in this alien situation, and I really don't think there's a whole lot of people really know. Maybe I know there's not a lot of NASA people don't know. I know there's a lot of military people that don't know. And if there is going to be a possible conflict, maybe we can work something out if we can figure out what's going on here. But basically, I've been interviewing government people. Sheila Jackson Lee is a congresswoman in downtown Houston here. Her office is in the federal building. I've been down there to see her twice over this thing. Called her twice, emailed her once. But don't seem to be getting through to her. She sits on the NASA committee in Washington and on the Homeland Security Committee in Washington. And if anybody should be interested in what I got to say, she should be. But she's so busy doing all this other stuff that she's not paying attention to me, which is really sad, because when this comes up in Washington, because I'm working with lawyers, I'm working with all kinds of people on disclosure. And when this comes up in Washington, and if I get to testify, which I hope to do, I'm going to be naming names, phone numbers, emails. I'll be making reports. I'll be telling people who said what, when they said it, how did it said it, how it all connects. I'll be filling in the puzzle, connecting the dots and everything.
That's right. You'll be filling in the
her
blanks.
name will be brought up, and it will not look good on her that she was unaware of the situation. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, they're engaged in a cover-up.
She's a Democrat, and I don't have anything against the Democrats or Republicans. I'm neutral as far as the Democrats and Republicans go.
Oh man, that's the whole problem of it. Those that cabal that they seem to dangle. How'd you bring that up? They seem to dangle the whole UFO issue like a carrot on a string. It's like, oh hey, if you vote for me, I'll tell you about the little green men. Hey, come on, what do you make of that?
Bernie Sanders just came out. Bernie Sanders just came out and said that if he's the Democratic nominee and he gets elected, he will bring it out.
Oh.
He just said it on. They got a tape of it on TV already. So, but what all I want is I want disclosure. I want to know if humanity is being controlled, or if we're getting, we're working with the aliens and we get some kind of a deal with them and they're helping us and for something or whatever, right. or if we've conquered some species of beings and we have their technology now. I'm just interested, and I'm interested in the part of it for this humanity. I'm scared humanity is just teetering on the edge right now. Right. Such high technology that people will just be left behind, man. The technology will be so great and so fast, and so that you'll just be in the future. Your baby will be chipped, and you'll just be part of the system, man. And freedom really won't be like it has been in the past and in the history books and all that kind of stuff like that.
I hear you. No, this whole alien issue is tricky because do they really want you to believe in little green men? I think it's bigger than that. I think it's like I was saying earlier. It could be interdimensional, parasitic. I also have been researching that they did supposedly have a deal with the U.S. government to experiment on as many U.S. citizens as possible. This was well,
let's hope not. Let's hope not. That would be a really sad thing if we found out that yes, we've had to deal with some aliens for a long time, and they're helping us build computers and fiber optics
in exchange for studying you. In exchange for opening you up like a frog.
Yeah, but here's the whole deal. Do the people have any rights at all? That's one of the big questions. Do the voters, do the taxpayers, do the workers,
no.
Do the people have any right to really know what some corporation's doing or what the government's really doing? Even if it affects them for the rest of their life, do they really have a right to know?
Well, this country's a corporation, Kenneth, and it's they put a businessman up there to run it, so that should tell you everything. And speaking of the businessman, President Trump, he's kind of given a cold shoulder to the whole UFO issue. He said, "I don't really believe in that kind of thing." Is he engaging in a cover-up?
Well, I would say that any president, Republican or Democrat, that does not acknowledge the fact that UFOs and aliens are real and there's some kind of ongoing conflict between humanity and them, is really either they're ignorant to the situation or they're involved in the cover-up. And that could be every single president.
Oh, yeah.
It could be Obama. It could be Clinton. It could be Bush. Bush's dad was in the CIA. He quoted something one time as saying that, the American people couldn't handle it if we told them. So,
that's right. Oh no,
and that's the CIA Bush, okay? So,
oh yeah, no, I tell you, Kenneth, it's probably like that cartoon Pinky and the Brain, where the mouse has like a mechanical human suit, and he's like controlling him inside his head. He's like got all the levers and all the esoteric dials and everything, controlling the human person.
Yeah, I think they only let the president know what that he needs to know, and no more than that. In other words, it's kind of like being in the military, and you get put on a mission, and the guy tells you, okay, this is all you need to know. Mm-hmm. This is the part of the mission you need to know. You don't need to know anything else about anything.
That's right.
I think that's what they do to the president, man. They just give him a little bit of information, and I don't think he really knows who's really pulling the strings on some of these deals, man.
Wow. Well, what are some of the latest UFO cold cases that you're investigating right now or that you find interesting? There's a lot.
Here's like I was telling you. I take a different angle on it. Like, what have I recently been doing? Recently, I went up to the East Coast, up to Virginia Beach area, to hook up with an old guy named Larry Bryant. And Larry is a lawyer. He's been involved in the UFO world for his whole life. And he was involved in a group called Citizens Against UFO Secrecy, which was a big UFO group that was back in the 80s. And there was another big group called Ground Saucer Watch. And that was another big group back in the 80s. And they did everything from protest at the White House to file FOIA things on different UFO events and stuff, trying to get government documents to find out what happened and all that kind of stuff. And he's a lawyer, so that's what he concentrated on, was the legal aspects of it. Anyway, I went up there to meet him, and he's got a giant collection of UFO documents from those groups and their interaction with the government. And the Rice University here in Houston has been involved in collecting these big UFO collections from these big UFO people that's given their life to the UFO research and investigation. So they're trying to get his UFO collection of documents and everything transferred to Rice University. They've got 5 collections there already. If they get his, they'll probably have more UFO collections than just about any university in the United States, and they'll be probably in the future one of the top places you'll be able to go and do UFO research and stuff like that.
That's incredible.
So Rice University, and it's a religion department. The religion department is the one that's into the big UFO thing.
Oh, absolutely. The Vatican has expressed major interest in that area. Now, how can you tell what alien documents or what alien cases are legitimate and real? Because the government had their own team, their own task force, as the Majestic 12 out there just faking all sorts of stuff, Skinny Bob, all sorts of stuff.
Well,
I don't know what's real.
For sure, during my investigation into these incursions at military bases, because I was at a military base and had an incursion, I ran into the UFO Nuke press conference in Washington, D.C. at the press club in October of 2010, where about 7 military officers got up before the CNN and before the press club and testified that they had UFO incursions at their military bases. Well, one of those guys was Jerome Nelson. And Jerome Nelson was the commanding officer in missile silo number 8, I think it is, at Roswell, New Mexico, back in the winter of 63 and 64. Same winter JFK was assassinated in Dallas. Roswell, New Mexico, where they had the famous UFO flap where a balloon crashed. This is later. This is 63, 64, not 47. Just right around when Kennedy's assassinated. They had that winter, 63 and 64.
Or he went on vacation.
He testified they had 7 to 10 UFO incursions at Roswell, New Mexico. And the base couldn't be defended, and the base had to be closed.
Wow.
So what happened at Roswell, New Mexico? The base got invaded.
You think that could have been the secret? What about the secret space program? Or the Nazis could be attacking our own bases, or just running the whole joint. I mean, NASA, Nazi, NSA.
They've come over. I think about 50. I got a list of about 15 of our top bases, and they've all had UFO incursions. Now, if you're in the military and you're going to tell me that, okay, yeah, we've had 15 incursions at 15 of our top missile bases and Army bases.
Wow.
And we can't do anything about it, so we don't, we just kind of don't say anything about it. We kind of downplay it. In fact, we kind of make a joke of it because we can't do anything about it. See, there's something going on here,
Oh, yeah.
and it's a cover-up, and it's a national security issue. And so I'm basically investigating treason. Treason by people within the United States government is what I'm investigating.
Right. What do they want to do, the military? Leave it up to us rednecks out here in the woods to shoot them down with our own shotguns? Because that's what's going to happen.
They think everybody is a dumbass and can't be trusted.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just the old deal. If you told the people the truth, they'd probably either blow their brains out, quit their job, or stop going to church, you know.
I hear you. Speaking of
The
dumbass,
government doesn't trust the people, okay? That's what it all comes down
absolutely not.
to.
Speaking of dumbasses, what do you make of the Storm Area 51 thing? Is that a whole bunch of dumbasses? It's going to be known as the massacre at Area 51. Well, what the hell are they thinking?
The government would arrest every single person once they cross that line over there, and they'd all go to jail.
Really? That's a lot of paperwork. It'd be a lot easier to just blast them with lasers.
Yeah. No, they'll just rough up a few people and throw them in jail, make it hard on them, you know, and nobody will get to see anything because they won't make it very far. Let's put it that way.
Oh, no, they know you're coming. They know you're coming miles away. What do these guys think they're going to find there? Like sexy alien women that are going to dig how many Star Wars quotes they know?
I don't know. The best thing to do is, if you want the truth, is get with your congressman like I do, and go down to your congressman's office and sit down with him and complain and bitch to him and fill out an official complaint. That would be a lot better thing to do than storm Area 51.
Yeah, or how about storming the Clintons' house? Probably they got live aliens there. Well, I tell you, Kenneth, it's been fun having you on. How can my listening audience get more of you and find out, where they can support you and find your work?
Well, pretty much all you got to do is just Google Kenneth Dudley UFO, and Google or Bing will pull up whatever they've got. Google's got a lot more than Bing does on me, so
right.
You can just go from there. I'm on Facebook, and I'm on LinkedIn as a UFO investigator, and I get a lot of big time corporate people and government people contacting me on LinkedIn.
Right.
They all got questions. I try to answer the best I can.
Well, I tell you, I'm not with the government.
Anyway.
I'm with the people. I'm not with the government. I'm with the people, and I work for the people, by the people, and it was fun having you on, and hopefully all the big shots in radio can listen to you and how good you were on my show, and they'll, I don't know, maybe Clyde Lewis will have you on tomorrow, huh?
Okay.
That'd be cool.
All you can do is keep fighting. That's all you can do, man.
You got it, man.
Fight.
Just like Independence Day, just go right at them. Woo-wee! Let's get them.
Yeah.
All right, Kenneth, thanks for being on. Thank you for being on. You there?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Kenneth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
See ya. That was Kenneth Dudley, folks, UFO investigator, fun guy, good stuff. Be sure to tune in Mondays, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, Spreaker.com/The Bruce Montalvo Show. Find us on your phone, on your mobile device. Just download the app, TalkStreamLive.com, TalkStreamLive.com/Bruce Montalvo, The Bruce Montalvo Show. Facebook at Bruce Montalvo, Twitter at Bruce Montalvo. Sayonara.
Montalvo Broadcasting Network.